All right. Oh my gosh, look how techy we are. We are live on Facebook. We're here.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Jeanette Brizendine from the City of Federal Way Recycling, and welcome to our first class of our Green Living series for 2021 on clutter clearing. We are so excited to have everyone here tonight. This free workshop was brought to you by grant funding from the King County Solid Waste Division and the Department of Ecology, and with support from the City of Federal Way that I work for and the South King Tool Library. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeanette Brizendine and I'm your recycling project manager for the City of Federal Way. So I'm involved in all the different education, recycling events, programs, anything really that has to do with sustainability, eco, green, that's what I do. And so I'm excited to host these series. My contact information is on the screen. You have my phone number, my cell, my email. You can text me, email me. I'm here to answer questions. If you have ideas, if you're having problems with waste management, I can help you with anything related to garbage and recycling. So I'd like to introduce Amanda Miller from the South King Tool Library and give her a couple minutes to talk about her program.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. I am your tech wizard today, which is not saying a whole lot, so I apologize in advance for any glitches, but as Jeanette graciously introduced me, I am Amanda Miller. I'm the executive director for the South King Tool Library. Hopefully you might have heard of what a tool library is. We lend out things like tools and equipment, offer some educational resources and information, and we are over here in Federal Way, just off of 340th and Pack Highway. You see our awesome one-of-a-kind building there. We finally finished this year, or 2020. So we do regular checkouts every week, and we are just really excited to be open and checking tools out, everything from saws to rakes and pressure washers. I can't think right now. I've been working all day, so my brain is a little fried, but even things like dehydrators and sewing machines, things you might not think of traditionally as tools, but our goals are to share tools and information, offer training and education like this awesome clutter clearing class, and then empower people to make a difference in their day-to-day lives. So you hopefully leave this class very enlightened with Denise's wisdom and with the goals to accomplish anything. I mean, I built that building behind me. I didn't think I could ever do that, but look at that. So thank you for coming today, and we really appreciate your connecting with us. And please feel free to reach out to me. Contact information is up there. You can call, text, email, carrier pigeon, or just stop by from time to time with a mask. I will say hello. But I appreciate you guys and your time today, and I hope I have so much to learn from Denise. I can't imagine. Oh, and I'm in space, in case you couldn't tell. But I, relatively speaking, I'm also at the tool library, like all the time. So thank you guys, and go ahead, Denise, take it away.
Amanda, can I ask you a quick question? What are your hours that you're there that people can check out?
Well, we're open by reservation only, so we want to be as safe as possible, just trying to minimize the amount of people. So Mondays and Saturdays from 11 to 1, and then Wednesdays from 4 to 6, we're doing the checkout. So be sure to email or text if you're looking for a specific tool, and we'll be sure, if you haven't or if you didn't receive an email from us, be sure to put your email in the chat, or if you think that it might not have gotten to you one way or another, so we can follow up with you and make sure that you have our contact information and learn about other awesome classes and other information about the tool library and the city and Denise. And there we go. Thanks, Denise.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeanette. You guys are awesome. If you guys don't know Jeanette and Amanda, you should totally get to know them. I'm always in awe. I don't know how much of you know about the tool library, but it was an act of passion and persistence and love and consistency and dig in and get it done. And My hat is off to you guys. I mean, what a great example of what you can do when you persevere, which is perfect for tonight. So before I get going, I want to introduce myself. My name is Denise Frakes. I am a home and life coach. So I specialize in creating a life that you love and a home that you love that doesn't weigh you down. So that kind of leads us right into tonight's topic, which is clutter clearing. Oh, there we go. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to switch my view okay, because I love being able to see you guys. Um, so thank you all for coming. I'm guessing if you're here that you have a feeling that clutter is something you'd kind of like to minimize this year. I mean, how many of you this year is kind of like, this year, I really want to get my house back where it doesn't feel overwhelming, right? So we have a lot of us joining our group tonight, which is fantastic, which also tells me that don't ever feel like you're alone in clutter clearing, like you're trying to downsize and you're the only one out there that feels like that, because trust me, you have so much company. But because we have a lot of people, I probably won't open it up to a lot of questions, live questions, but if you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. And then Amanda and Jeanette hopefully will feed some over to me. And then we can also use that information for future programs that we're doing. So please do. And then also I'm going to be posting a connection, I think in Facebook, maybe Jeanette can do it for me, but if you want to be connected to my events or my newsletter where I'm sharing tips on healthy homes and healthy living, please do so and connect to me so that we can stay connected, because as we have found in 2020, that even though we all isolated, how important connection is. All right. So thank you guys all for coming and taking time out of your night for this. I feel so honored to be able to share this. This has been a passion of mine for a long time, of helping houses, families get their lives back. I've been in the housing industry, taking care of homes, creating homes for 30 years. And there's one thing I know for sure is, for one, there's no perfect house out there. No matter what they look in the magazines, doesn't happen. It's a house is a journey. A house is a journey. It will travel with you your whole life. It doesn't matter whether you're a family with little kids running all over the place, or if you're close to retirement, traveling, downsizing, it doesn't matter. This house will travel with you. And so my goal for you is to turn the care of the house into something that is a weight to your soul, to something that is nourishing to your soul. And this is done through practices. I think of creating space, creating a house is actually the practice of being present. It's a practice of love, of creating a space you love, because when you're in a space that feels good, you're nourished. I've been doing this for a long time, and until 2020 and COVID, I don't think I had any idea how important and impactful clutter clearing, taking care of a house, creating a space was. But it was funny, and you probably all heard it too. How many times did you hear something on mental health that said something about tidying up or cleaning the house or creating space? How many times if somebody was like, if you were feeling overwhelmed, that they were bringing in taking care of your house as a practice. So what I've come to understand is this year that creating a space, the daily maintenance of creating a space where you feel like you're thriving in it, is just as important as what you eat, is getting your sleep, is getting your exercises. I put it right in the top group of things that will impact you in a positive way or a negative way, depending on how your house is. So if you want to change your life, creating an environment around you that feels nourishing, put it right to the top. Matter of fact, I just got an article from Tony Robbins. They were doing a thing on momentum, and Dean Grazizio, I'm not sure if I said his name last right, but he has like 20 tips for how to build momentum in life. And two of them was make your bed every morning, and the other one was tidy up every night. Of his giant power things, it comes back to creating space, and like starting the day fresh makes a big difference, and how you end the day makes a huge difference. So the main reason we want to do this clutter clearing is because of how it makes us feel. There's 4 types of clutter. There are 4 main types of clutter. One of is when there's too much in a space, where it just feels like the space is getting squished. You're always pushing things in, shoving things in a small, does that make sense? You know, you're just kind of squishing everything in a space. What that is, it's too much in a space, and that the energy of that is feeling squished. You're actually squished and you can't breathe. And so when you have too much in a space, you literally can't breathe, and you feel this weight of your house kind of closing in on you. If the house is disorganized, where you have a little bit here and a little bit there, it doesn't make sense, you have things on the floor, things aren't where they are, it's untidy, what that does is it distracts you. You're fragmented, you're just kind of running all over, you're not centered, right? You're not centered, you're just like, you've lost your confidence because you're just kind of dispersed everywhere. There's also things that are procrastinating, things that are left undone, things that aren't finished, things that are unopened. That's kind of this feeling of regret. It also hits your confidence so much, of like this beating yourself up of, if I could just finish this stuff, if I could just complete this. It's these messages that just keep weighing on you, weighing on you. And then the final category is things that are unloved, things that are neglected, things are just forgotten about, things that have been in one place forever and they just stagnated. They're just not, they're immobile. That is feeling unnourished in a home, and that is depleting of you. When you are surrounded by things that don't give you energy anymore, it depletes you. When I think of creating space, I think of like panning for gold. When I was growing up, my dad and we had sluice boxes. Not that we were gold panners, but for some reason we had sluice boxes, and my dad would take us panning for gold. And so you'd start with a pan, and it would have all the silt and dirt and all that stuff in it, and you would shake it and shake it, and what you're doing is getting rid of the clutter, getting rid of the filler, the storage, and what you were left was nuggets of gold. And that's what we're trying to do in the house. I am not a fan of perfect houses. That is so far from what I want. What I want it for you is a house that feels, it feels nourishing, it feels authentic, you feel like you have breathing space, you can grow, you can expand. That's what I want for you. It's like there's a great wabi sabi quote, and if anybody knows me, you know I love wabi sabi. It was something about, get rid of all the excess but keep the poetry. And so when you're creating a space in your house, it's like you're looking for those gold mines that you, when you're done, it's an easy house, you can breathe, there's a lot of space, but it is so authentically you that you thrive in. When you create a house like that and you are thriving, your confidence goes up, your clarity, your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, your emotional health all rise up. And then you can do in this world what you were created to do. You can be creative in this world, you can thrive. And that is the main goal of clutter clearing. It's not to create a perfect house, but to create it where you have an environment you can thrive in, and you can do what you were intended to do in this world. I have never ever worked with a client that I didn't find them to be absolutely extraordinary. You start getting rid of the life residues that build up on us, and we are all absolutely extraordinary. And I know no matter where you find yourself in your house tonight, just know you're perfect. Wherever you are is just perfect. There, this is a completely judgment-free zone, that you are absolutely extraordinary. And just having a space that doesn't feel good sometimes depletes your own confidence in yourself. But I'm here to tell you, it's just the environment. It is not you. And so the reason we're doing it is to find you again so that you can thrive and you can live and do what you're meant to do. So that's my little stand on the soapbox kind of thing about clutter clearing. And now we're going to get into the juicy part. So the hardest part of clutter clearing is trying to do something that has been weighing on your soul for a long time and muddling your energy. What I mean by muddling your energy is the very clutter itself, because it's not clean, it kind of wears on your system. It kind of muddles you. So it's hard to be very clear and confident to do it. So creating a practice to get clarity is probably my first tip, because if you just go into a place and your energy is low, you're not quite sure what you're working on, and you just kind of starting and you move things around, it'll feel like you're never making any progress because you're just you just don't have enough energy, right? And you're not clear. And so you're kind of moving boxes from here to there. And then over time that wears and you're like, I'm never going to get anywhere. And here's the thing. You think about a year ago where we all were. A year ago, we were at the South King County Tool Library in the lodge, and that was right before COVID happened. None of us were doing massive Zooms. I mean, how many of us were on Zoom a year ago, right? I mean, none of us. And now we're Zooming all over the country. My mom is Zooming with her Bible study in her church, and I'm presenting on Zoom. I was not presenting on Zoom a year ago. So if we can do all this, you can do your house. I have massive faith, but it's a practice, and we have to be willing to fail. We have to be like, I am not perfect. It's like Amanda was saying, okay, I'm in charge of technical support, and even though that's probably not her thing. And it's like we just do. And so it's the action of doing. You gain confidence, you gain clarity. But there's a formula here. I'm going to show you how to make this easy. And it's a pretty simple formula. It's actually for peak performance on athletics and business. But this formula will keep you from burning out. And that's a huge problem with clutter because it's there all the time. You wake up to it, you go to bed to it, it's there all the time. And so it wears on you and it feels like you have a 24/7 job. And so here is the key on how to make it nicer. So we're going to turn this into little pockets and a daily practice of doing a little bit instead of trying to take on. It's a clear pocket. So the formula is actually like a focused action plus rest equals growth. And what I mean by a focused action, so you have a little pod here, it's called a focus action, and then you stop and then you do rest. So it's a combination of rest and focus. So how many times have you done a day where you started the day and you just worked until the end of the day, and then you're just beat, you're exhausted, there's nothing left? It's because you didn't pause. And so this is all about the pause. So the first is the pocket. So we start with an action. If you are doing an action, and this is clutter clearing, this is cleaning, this is Zooming, this is working in your office, it can be anything. But you start with a pocket, and this pocket is between 20 and 90 minutes. It can be less if you want, but you don't want to go over 90 minutes. Science has shown that our brain is able to focus at its best in pockets between 20 and 90 minutes, depending on how taxing it is to our brain. Over 90 minutes, we start losing our energy, and then we're just wandering around. So if you go over 2 hours or 3 hours, then you might as well stop because you're just wasting your energy versus doing in these clear things. So I recommend a couple things with cell phones. I recommend, oh, I don't know what I'm taking a picture of. I recommend setting your timer if you're going to be working. So if you're going to be doing a block, if you're going to be working like 90 minutes, and this is really important to know your energy. If you have low energy and you're not able to like go for long walks or anything, don't try to do 90 minutes, maybe do 30 minutes. Start with where you are. Wherever you are is perfect, but you don't want to go past your energy, because if you go past your energy, you're going to get depleted, and then you'll not be able to complete it, and then it'll get muddled. You know what I mean? So you start with setting your timer, and say you have quite a bit of energy. So instead of setting your timer for 90 minutes, you're going to set your timer for 60 minutes. So say the pocket is to clean out a bookcase or clean out a drawer. You're going to do a small little section. So when we're doing a pocket, instead of going, I'm going to clean my whole bedroom, you're going to go, in this first pocket, I'm going to clean the top of the dresser. Because if you're working very clean and consistent, then you can complete that whole project. If you take on the whole thing, it's like attacking a giant elephant. So instead of eating the whole elephant, we're going to be like, painting a toenail, so it's going to be like a tiny little bit at a time. So here's the thing. So if I'm working in this little pocket, I'm going to turn off any kind of messages on my cell phone. I don't want to be interrupted. I don't want to have my TV going. TVs are, here's the thing about TVs. I told my sister that this is my tribute to my sister. TVs turn you into zombies. So my sister's a zombie. She's a big zombie fan. So, and it's true. How many times in the evenings you sat down to watch TV and then you're like glued to your couch? You cannot move. It's like you're a magnet. You're like stuck in there. So the same thing happens. Don't try to do clutter clearing. Hey, don't try to do clutter clearing with your TV on, your cell phone's going, your messages on, your computer's going. Those will deplete your energy. So when you're working in this pocket, you want to have a clear time, you want to have a clear tasks, and you want to reduce all distractions. What you're doing is you're creating a focus of deep work. So you can't do this kind of deep work for a very long time, but when you work in this pocket of deep work, your focus is completely clear. You can do twice or three times more in a deep pocket of work than you can wandering around all day for all week. So when I said to set your timer for 60 minutes instead of 90, the reason I do that is because in 60 minutes, I want you to work on the project, and we'll get into that a little bit more, how to do the project. But then I want you to have at least 30 minutes to put it away and clean it up and complete it. And this is a big tip on clutter, because if you blow this whole thing up and lose energy, then that turns into a whole nother project. I'd much rather just see you do, I've completed this, and I don't care if it is a half of one side of a bookcase. I'd rather see you start and completely finish a project and have that kudos, I did it, I made it, than to blow up a whole room and then have a whole nother project that didn't get done. So know how much energy you have and give it at least a third of the time to complete it, to put it away, to clean it up and finish. Does that make sense? Now here's where the magic is, and this is amazing. So the science about this is incredible. We do not give weight to rest, to nourishment of ourselves. So the second part of this is we work, we focus, and then we pause. We stop what we're doing, and we unplug from our brain. So maybe in rest, we actually go sit down and we close our eyes and we just like my grandma used to say, I'm just going to sit here and close my eyes for a little bit. You could meditate, you could close your eyes. Another thing you can do is you can stand up, because a lot of times you're focused on something. So here's the thing, you want to open up, you want to stand up, maybe you want to go get a drink of water and hydrate and make sure you're up and alive again. A really good way to reboot and gain more energy is to actually go outside for a 5-minute walk. You don't have to go far, but there's a really great study about this. What they did was they took people outside, and well, some people stayed inside during a pause. Other people they put in a wheelchair and they just wheeled them around. They didn't actually walk. Other people went out and walked for 5 minutes. The people that were outside and walked for 5 minutes, their creativity went up 60%. 60%. So you think about that. You work in this really great little pocket of focus, and then you pause, you get some water, you stretch, you breathe, you relax, you just let it all go, and then you go outside for a walk. You've upped your focus, your creativity by 60%. And there's something really magical that happens when you do this. At this point is where you get the insight. You have to have the rest and release to get the insight, to get the aha moments. You've heard about like scientists, they'll take a nap after working on a project. They'll like try, and then they'll pause. And that's when they're taking a shower, is when they get the aha moment. It's the rest. The rest is where the magic happens. So you focus and then you rest, and that's when you get the aha moments. That's when growth happens. So it's not that you're being lazy. It's not that you're wasting time. It's that is an essential part of this, is the work and then the rest, or the play, or the rest, or taking a nap, or going outside, but you completely unplug from what you're doing. Then at that point, you can check in with yourself. Now, this little rest part, it needs to be at least 7 minutes. And it can be as long as 20 minutes. Well, it can be longer. Again, I probably wouldn't go over 90 minutes. But again, on this one, set your timer again, because otherwise you'll get lost. Set your timer if you want 7 minutes, at least 7 minutes, and then 20 minutes. At that point, I want you to check in with yourself. How much energy do you have to keep going? If you have energy to go, then do maybe another hour or another 90 minutes, but you've given yourself a pause. And then you can keep going. But I always want you to check, because if you go past your energy, you're going to end up being depleted. And I would much rather see you be consistent day after day, because you're going to be building new habits. You're going to be new patterns. You're going to keep making progress. Then I would rather see you blow up a big thing and get so exhausted that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to do this because it's so exhausting. This should be energizing, because the act of clutter clearing will give you energy. At first, it might seem hard, but you'll get neural pathways, you'll get new habits, you'll get more confidence, you'll get more clarity, you'll get easier. But in the process of lightening up your house, you'll gain energy just because your environment will still feel better. And the one way to drop stress and clutter is action. Consistent progress action is the way you're going to drop stress. So if you're doing, even if you just do one little pocket a day, maybe 20-minute pocket of focus, but you do like a tiny thing, like you clean out your wallet. I mean, I don't care how tiny it is. I just want to see that consistency of completing a task and giving yourself kudos that you did it. Matter of fact, I recommend you get a calendar, and every time you do a little pocket of something good, I want you to give yourself a gold star. I want you to give yourself kudos. We don't give ourselves kudos. Just because we're not 5 years old does not mean we shouldn't get gold stars. I have a whole sticker thing on my desk of stickers. Different. I have owls and I have butterflies, depending on what I want. Totally do that, because the more we give ourselves that kudos, we're going to give ourselves dopamine, and that means we're going to start being excited to do it. It's like, I get to give myself a gold star. And then it gets become, I completed it, I rested, I played, I nourished myself, I did something I wanted. Maybe I sat and read a book for 20 minutes, because I never give myself time, because I should be working 24/7, right? This way, in that 20 minutes, or maybe you give yourself a luxurious hour and a half to do whatever you wanted to. You could read, you could watch something, you could watch a movie. Do not watch TV, because it will turn you into a zombie if you want to keep going. So don't do zombie stuff, but do something that you've been wanting to do that will just fill your soul up. And then at the end of the day, you've accomplished something and you got to play. Isn't that awesome? It's like, and this is like science. I mean, there's like a whole science of it, and this like proven, and it works. And okay, so that's the how to do it. It's the pocket of clarity followed by the pocket of play and rest to give you the insight. And what you're doing is you're bringing yourself back to present, back to present, back to present. Because when you're present and you're all there. If you get tired, you're going to get distracted and you're not all there. And then you're not going to get near as much done. You're going to get more done in a pocket of deep focus than you will ever get wandering around. So the 3 practices I want you to think about when you're doing that pocket of deep focus are the following. So there's 3 main categories, and go with whatever one you really feel good at. The first category is pockets of prevention. So your house builds up because of the habits you have in daily work. So sometimes the pocket might be you're ordering a lot of stuff from Amazon, and that's kind of a big thing this year because we couldn't go shopping. And so it kind of became a thing of like, oh, I get nourishment. So it became a bigger thing to get more and more things coming in from Amazon and all the other ordering places. So first of all, if that's a prevention, one of them is maybe to give yourself a little budget of like, I'm going to give myself $100 to shop, and then give yourself a pause before you just hit the button. So when things come, they really feel special. And you're not just over bringing, because that will weigh on you. But if you do it like a little gift and make it very special, then it will be energizing. Prevention would be when you get something, you actually open it up, you take the packaging out, you recycling the package, and you actually open it, because it's easy to just start having boxes and stuff. Another prevention is in the morning, kind of like what he was saying in motivation. First thing in the morning is to make your bed. That if that's the only thing you do, I mean, say you're just depleted and you're exhausted, if the only thing you do is you wake up and you make your bed, so that at night you can crawl into a made bed and it doesn't have a lot of stuff in, then give yourself a gold star, because that's a really big thing. The other thing that I really like as a practice is to wake up the kitchen. Wake up the kitchen is kind of tidying up the kitchen. If there's dishes to be put away, you wake up the kitchen, you wake up the house, open up the blinds, stuff like that. It's waking up the house. A little pocket, like in the morning, what I do is I wake up my kitchen if there's something to do to put away dishes or whatever I will. But I also take maybe 5-10 minutes just to pick up my house. Just pick it up. And what you're doing is you're unmuddling your house because things get into the wrong places. And if by just daily picking it up every day, you just pick it up a little bit, it never builds up where you have these giant projects. So we have to focus on the prevention to keep it from ever happening again. Another big prevention is your mail sorting, making sure you're not just dragging out, that you actually, open up everything, recycle as much as you possibly can. If it's bills to be paying, put it in the bills drawer, an action, put it in your inbox, but be very clear about that because that can blow up and become another project. And then we're trying to prevent these projects. Another thing is at night is another time to kind of put your kitchen to bed and do another little pickup. Don't wait until like 11 o'clock at night when you're just dragging on fumes to do this, because nothing good happens when you're on fumes. So do it as your body can tell you. The second one is, and this is like my favorite. I love this pocket. So this pocket is the procrastination pocket. So what I do in the procrastination pocket is, say you have like 90 minutes or 30 minutes or 60 minutes in your deep focus pocket. I call it my procrastination pocket because we always have things. You're supposed to call the cable company. You need to order this. You need to respond to this person. There's that to-do list that's just always hanging on. You never have time to go through your to-do list. So this is actually a pocket where you just give, because you may have like 20 things to do. It may be as simple as like finishing your knitting project, like finish a project. So it's all about finishing and completing, and you're going to get massive and happy kudos on this one. But giving yourself this luxurious pocket of time and just saying, for 30 minutes or 60 minutes or 90 minutes, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to turn off my cell phone. And when you turn off your cell phone, you really have to turn it off and cover it up. Otherwise, habitually we'll go right to our cell phone. So hide it, but put a timer. And then no TV, you just get some water and you just set your little self down here and you turn on the timer and you just go through inbox, like call this person, call the cable company, do it, and just start checking it off. That is going to be one of the most nourishing things you've ever done in your life, because at the end of the day, you just got rid of all this weight that has been just nagging at you, just depleting you. And now you're like, oh, poof, and you think about it. Do that consistently over the week. And before you know it, at the end of the month, you will have knocked off 90% of your to-do list. And then you can start adding in things you really want to do. I want to send letters to my great aunt. I want to call my father-in-law. These are the things you want. So make these pockets of procrastination one of your favorite things. And then give yourself a sticker or write down everything you did. Don't focus so much on what you didn't do, but start paying attention to what you did do and give yourself a yay, I did do that. Okay, so then the third one, and this is where the uncluttering comes in, it would be a pocket of uncluttering. So then the pocket would be, say, your silverware drawer. Today I'm going to do my silverware drawer. Tomorrow I'm going to do my underwear drawer. So just pick something that you want to do. And here's the thing about doing a pocket of uncluttering. It's best to completely take everything out of that. Like let's just say we're doing underwear. You take everything out of the underwear drawer and then you sort the underwear. So you have all the socks and you have all the underwear and you have bras or whatever, maybe this is too personal of a spot, but we're going to go with it. I'm already here. But so then you go through your socks. Does it have holes in it? Is it stretched out? Do I have a mate? Match them all up. Get rid of the stuff that is no good. And I think Goodwill will take any kind of those materials. That's why I love working with the recycling and Jeanette and everybody, because they can make sure we know where to recycle everything. But Goodwill will take all fabrics and stuff. So get rid of all the things that you don't look. I mean, if you're wearing things and your bra strap is hanging down here and it's all ripped open, don't keep that stuff. Narrow it down to the things that you feel good in, where you're like, oh, I love that color. Don't keep stuff of like, I hate that color. And so you're never going to wear it, or that rides up on me. Don't keep that stuff. This is, we're panning for gold. I'd rather have you do laundry more often and have underwear that you love than have a whole closet full of it. You can't find anything and you have socks going everywhere, right? So then you take everything out, you sort it, you downsize it, you clean the drawer. So you wipe it out. Don't put a lot of cleaners, just 2 microfibers, a wet one and a dry one. Clean, wet, and then dry. You clean it out, and then you mindfully put back what you love. And then you're done. So if you remember, and I am notorious for getting this, if you remember on all of these little pockets like this, you start by taking a picture. This is what I'm going to do. If you need an accountability buddy, get a buddy and you guys are both taking a picture. Like Tuesdays at 10 o'clock, we are doing 90 minutes and we're taking pictures of each other's stuff. Team up with each other. So take a picture of it. Go about doing your work. You're completely undistracted. You're completely focused. You're getting your work done. You clean it all out, you downsize it, you put it all together, and then in that 30 minutes, you are taking it to Goodwill, you're putting it in the car, you're loading up, your project is 100% done. You've completed it. You know how good that feels to complete something? That is just like brilliant on your spirit, because it's not like, then you see how when you have a habit, every time you have a win, you get a dopamine boost, and you're also building a new habit. You're building new patterns. So instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to do clutters, you realize every act you do to unclutter and create space is going to give you more vitality. It's going to give you more mental clarity. It's going to give you more confidence. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to make your life better. You can thrive in again. So it's not a detrimental thing. It's only because you've been looking at it for so long that it's wearing on you. But in truth, it's one of the biggest blessings you can possibly give yourself. And it's also the best blessing you can give your family members and your families that come after you, so they don't have to mess with it. It's an act of love. If I've ever seen an act of love, this is an act of love, of creating space. It's an act of being present. Obviously I'm passionate about this because I see it over and over, and I'm like, these beautiful, beautiful spirits can thrive. And it's just this stuff muddles our energy and depletes our souls. There's just no question. And so what we're trying to do is create practices that the practices become fun. And so here's the next one I want to add. It's the 1% rule. So I want you to, every time you do it, I want you to think of the next day of, I just want to get 1% better at this. 1% better. I don't want you to be like all of a sudden the queen of all uncluttering. I want you to just think about 1% improvement. And it could be 1% of, I'm going to pay more attention to the timing of it. I'm going to have better posture. I'm going to be more hydrated. I'm going to enjoy it. Maybe I learn to play music as I'm doing it, and I'm dancing and I'm having a really good time in my pickup in my morning. Like in my morning, when I do my morning waking up my kitchen, it is actually part of my morning quiet time. When I wake up, my feet hit the ground and I say thank you and I smile and I go wash my face and I stretch. And then I go do my morning, yoga and some meditation and things. And then I go wash my dishes. And when I wash my dishes, I add that to it. So I am grateful. I'm humming a tune. I'm moving to music. That becomes part of my practice. Actually morning dishes is part of my meditation. And that is not depleting over time. At first, it may seem a little weird, but over time, it actually becomes nourishing to your soul. And then when you need to be nourished, you will not believe when you go do dishes and all of a sudden your whole nervous system calms down, because you have got it into a habit of understanding that that is a nourishing part of your day. So and we start creating more and more of these habits. So 1% improvement. That's all I'm asking. And even if you completely fall apart and you are a total TV zombie on Thursday. You didn't do anything. You just sat there and watched TV all day. You didn't even move out of your pajamas, didn't even wash your face. All you have to say is, tomorrow I want to be 1% better. Tomorrow, if I wash my face or I make my bed, I'll be 1% better. I want you to be as kind to your soul as you possibly can, because it's so easy for us to beat ourselves up. It is much harder practice to be nice to ourselves. So 1%, I want you to think curiously. What could I have done better? What did I like about this? What could I have made it better? Maybe opening up some windows, maybe getting some fresh air, maybe, making sure I'm hydrated, having fun, calling a friend, taking pictures. Be creative. This is where I want you to get those creative juices going and really make it fun and enjoyable and just, so it's, keep in mind, if we want to do this, it is about, if you want to drop your stress, it is about taking action. Progress will create a stress drop. That is the only way it's going to happen. I mean, we can talk about it all day, but the action has to happen. So tonight, after we're done, do something. I don't care if you pick up 3 things off the floor. Things on the floor tend to drag your energy down. So if you have a lot of stuff on the floor, that's going to depress your energy system. Things that are out of order kind of muddle your mind. Things that are all squished make you feel exhausted and heavy. Things that are uncompleted. So tonight, maybe, put the dishes to bed. Maybe wash your face. Do something. Maybe tidy up your shoes. Don't spend a lot of time. Maybe 3 minutes, but do something and give yourself the kudos. So start action right away. It doesn't have to be big. And I would rather see something consistently done. And if it was 5 minutes consistently done, I'd rather see that than trying to do a giant progress getting stuck in. I'd much rather see the habits, because here's the thing about habits. We are 40% on autopilot because we're habitual. So we're recreating habits here. And by every time you do something that is a pocket of prevention or a pocket of anti-procrastination or a pocket of getting a project unmuddled, you build another habit. And every time you do it, you keep building habits and habits and habits and confidence and confidence. And when you have a really strong root structure, it's like a bamboo plant. You may have days like we may have COVID and we may have riots and we may have windstorms that knocked out electricity or whatever. You may bend, but you will not break. And then you pop back up and you have this huge layer of habits underneath you that will sustain you the rest of your life. So this is not a quick fix. This is a journey this year. This is the 2021 journey of consistently making progress and nourishing yourself. And so thinking about doing deep focus, play and practice with deep focus, and then rest and nourish and love yourself and let go of the deep focus and see if you don't just start going, this is the coolest thing ever. I love clutter clearing. And it's funny now, I mean, after all these years, when I get lost in my mind, I'm getting stressed, I use clutter clearing as a de-stressor. If my brain is muddled, I'll organize my books. It helps me clear my thoughts. I'll clean out a space. I use it as a practice of nourishing and calming down my stress. Matter of fact, my dad is in a hospital. He's getting ready for a procedure tomorrow. And it was a very stressful week for our family. And my stepmom is home by herself with our big dog. But she wasn't able to talk to my dad. And she was very stressed. She couldn't go see the hospital. He wasn't able to communicate with her. And she was there. She ended up cleaning out 2 big closets. And she worked a lot. But it was what she used to keep her mind going when her stress was so high. She used it as a practice to hold herself together in action when everything else was falling apart. That's what this is. You can use it for anything. It shouldn't be depleting. It is actually the biggest gift you can give yourself, is learn to turn this into a practice of nourishment. And then in the days when you don't know what else to do, you can do something. I remember when my mother-in-law had a stroke and we were trying to decide when we were going to go home. I'm like, I don't know. So I put a question in my pocket and I cleaned my windows for clarity. And it worked because you're so anxious and you focus on it. You don't know. Just beating yourself up against the wall is not going to do it, but to let it go and rest and do something outside of it, That's where the clarity happens. So again, prevention, pockets of prevention, putting your mail away, picking up, opening up the kitchen, making your bed. Those are pockets of prevention. Just keeping the house kind of feeling good, lightly, daily little pockets of prevention. Give yourself that procrastination pocket, even if it's a couple times a week. Oh my gosh, you're going to love the procrastination pocket. And then do little projects to downsize and simplify your home where it feels nourishing. You know, when you're working in that focus, think about deep, deep focus here, and then rest and renewal. So no more than 90 minutes, no more than 90 minutes, and then you pause, and somewhere between 7 and 20 minutes or an hour and a half. But again, keep the same timer going so that you're going back to presence, and it's a pocket of nourishment. It's not just a sometime in the afternoon I read a book. You're like, you intentionally give yourself free time to just nourish yourself. And don't forget, going for a walk 5 minutes is worth 60% increase in your creativity. Isn't this cool? You can tell why I'm so excited about it, because it's big. It's like, this is life-changing practices. Not only are you going to get your home back, but you're going to get your life back. And we need that after last year. Well, and even some of the stuff this year. Oh, it's been quite a doozy. Okay, so I think we have a really, really exciting thing to share with you. So we've been talking, and Jeanette and Amanda, they are awesome. I'm so excited to do this. So one of the main things about clutter clearing is keeping going, having a team support, keep going, keep going. So what we're going to do as of February 4th, we are starting a community book club, an Uncluttering community book club. It's going to be so much fun. Okay, so the book we're going to be doing, and here's kind of the layout. So we have the first 30 people that sign up, and Jeanette and Amanda, you might want to unmute so you can kind of help me with this, but the first 30 people that join us, we're going to be doing a pilot program. So whoever joins, we want your information, because this is important to have a team to do this. But we're going to be going through the gentle art of Swedish death cleaning. And what we're going to do, it's going to be a 6-week gathering. So I really want people that are highly, highly motivated to do this. So instead of like, you know, how many millions of bookcases have I done that they're full of cleaning, feng shui, clutter clearing books, you know, and you read them, and then if you don't take action, then you just have another book, and then that becomes its own clutter, you know. So instead of rushing through this book, we are going to meander through this book in 6 weeks. It's only 127 pages. It's a delightful little book. So in 6 weeks, we're going to meander through this book, and each week we're going to be come together on Tuesdays at 10, and we are going to discuss the book as a book club and a community, which is totally cozy. And then we are going to take action. We're going to have an action we take
Thursdays
each
or
week.
Tuesdays?
What's that?
Was it Thursdays or Tuesdays? Thursdays at 10?
Thursdays. Sorry. Yes, Thursdays
Okay.
at 10. So this is going to be the first 6-week action uncluttering book club. And the City of Federal Way is putting it on. So I might have Jeanette and Amanda talk about it a little bit, but oh yeah, there it is. See, how cool is this? So this is a total pilot program, because we know that this needs to be a supported thing, because it's easy to get out of the habit. That's why you want to do on a calendar, you want to give yourself stickers, you want to give yourself kudos, but the whole thing is keep going. Don't stop. No matter what you say, just go, keep going, 100% better. That's all I have to do, is do one thing 1% better, keep going no matter what.
I have a bracelet from my great grandma, and it says keep swimming. And I always think of that because, you know, sharks never stop swimming.
Right.
So why should I?
And if you're in the water and you have sharks behind you, don't stop swimming.
Don't stop, keep swimming. I just grew up on the East Coast, so it is semi-relevant to that. But yeah, I thank you. And yeah, the registration will take your emails here too, as you put them in the chat. And if you didn't get an email for this Zoom meeting, you can definitely send us an email or put that into the chat now as well, or on Facebook if you can comment, and we can follow up, because I know I've had a few questions Yes, like Dory says, keep swimming. But the resources, Jeanette graciously put into the chat some resources on where to actually recycle things, and really, conscious consumerism is the conversation that I have as a tool library person all the time, and especially with Jeanette and some people that we connect with. So I'm getting a lot of messages now with emails. I think a lot of people are interested.
Oh,
and
this
we
is
are
going to be
gonna
so much fun. So just a
but
little note, if for some reason you don't get into this top 30, I think we're going to have part of the book club will be recorded, and we're going to be posting it on a Facebook somewhere. Is that right? So if for some reason you don't get into the top 30, stay with us, do the recording, stay with us in the book. And then I'm going to try to have some other book clubs going around. So definitely connect to me. So you'll be part of the events. We're going to try to do it. We'll see if we can get funding. If you want to support this, you might want to do donations to the Tool Library to help support these kind of programs. Is that the way to go? Yes. So if you want to see more of this, you want to help more people, donate to the South King County Tool Library for this, and then we can see if we can keep going these maybe quarterly. And then we'll ask you, do you want to do the same book? How can we do this? Maybe we'll do bigger groups and we'll do breakouts. We'll see where we are. But the first one is a pilot program, because we know how hard it is to stay going, and book clubs are cozy, and we're bringing people together. And one of the habits of happiness is learning, so we're making action, we're having fun, we're in the community, we're learning something, and we're actually making progress. So I think it hits so many joyful buttons. Oh, I can't wait for them. I'm so excited.
Yes, I will pull email addresses from the chat, and if we still have open spots, I'll send an email to the group. But like you said, don't worry if you're not in the first 30. This is just a pilot. I'm confident that it's going to go well and we can do it again. But you can also read the book. We will record the sessions and put them on Facebook. We just kept it down to 30 because we have breakout rooms so we can share. But we do want you to follow along on this. And then the 30 people that are in this, I will send you an email, and you can pick up your book from the Tool Library starting next week, or I can get you an electronic copy if you prefer that, and we will talk more. But really excited to see so many people in here wanting to declutter, reduce waste, simplify your life. I
love partnering with you, because one of the hardest things about downsizing is what to do with people, how to mindfully dispose of things, recycling, what to recycle. And then we're teaming with you, Amanda, and the Tool Library. So instead of keeping the saw that you never use, if you need a saw, you can go there, or you have a place to donate some of these things and you don't have to think about it, and you're helping a whole community. And if I know anything about my clutter clearing people, is they have the most beautiful, generous hearts in the whole world. So we want those beautiful, generous hearts to be living in houses that feel good, and then donating gently to our community, to nonprofits and stuff, that we can all thrive. This is gonna be so much fun.
We've talked about this before, Denise, and Jeanette and I talk about this all the time, but it's about just changing kind of your perception and mindset when it comes to, why would the Tool Library be a valuable resource in this journey? And it's really, about the idea of changing how we buy things. Why do we buy things? You don't buy a drill because you want to put that drill on your mantle and display it to everyone that comes to your house. So you need a hole. You need the hole that drill drills, right? So if you have it at the Tool Library, you can check out the drill when you need it for things. The same goes with the, big tile saws and things like that. And it's just about starting that conversation to make everybody's lives a little bit better, because then you also break down the barriers for people that might not be able to afford that nice saw or that awesome drill that, brought you some joy when you were putting in your shelves or building your kids' beds, and then, maybe they can utilize it in a different way. So, yeah, thank you so much.
And can I just pop in? I really love that you said that you also have like sewing machines. What other kind of unusual things do you have?
Well, I would say, we're testing out a freeze dryer right now. So we'll be doing a food preservation series because one thing, food is something that we always need. So, when it comes to food, we're all about preserving that. And then, you can do things in different ways to maybe make them into gifts. But instead of wasting food, how can we really make the most of it? And how cost prohibitive it is to families to have to buy in small batches. So if you can purchase something in a large batch, so we have vacuum sealers, we have dehydrators. We're going to get some more canning equipment before the food preservation series. And then,
Nice.
sewing machines and air compressors, pressure washers, painting equipment, ladders and wheelbarrows, things for gardening. There's all kinds of ways to, many different types of tools. Tool is very relative, but.
And would it go, this is like a two-part. Part of it, you now know where to donate these things to. And the other part of, instead of keeping it and taking up all your space, you have a place that you can go get it if you need it. And then you don't have to sit and look at a chainsaw on your mantle, because that would be awkward.
People might talk. No,
Although you could put I love little
That's
fairy
nice.
lights. I guess you could put fairy lights on it and call it like chainsaw art.
Sure. Well, and okay, so somebody asked a question. The class will be Zoom, not in person, not for, at least for now. And let's see, I have quite a few people. There are some free downloads of the book, and you can access it in different ways. The city is providing 30 copies, and we'll be checking them out at the tool library. Non-commitment, you can totally bring them back and donate them back to the tool library if you want to. And yeah, I'm just blown away. The questions that the best way to find out about what is available at the tool library would be going onto our website at southkingtools.org, and you can check out our inventory under Borrow Tools. You can sign up for a membership. It's absolutely free. We ask for donations if possible. I keep saying it's absolutely free, and my board's like, we want people to donate. And I'm like, but I like it when it's free.
But it's like what I was saying. Honestly, if you want this to help a lot of people and you have the means to be able to support it, please do, because there's a lot of people that are struggling with clutter and knowing what to do, or they don't have the means to get a sewing machine to make things. So supporting this is really supporting our community. I was just talking to another organization earlier today, and they had a person from their community call, and she was just sobbing because her house was so full and she was just exhausted and she didn't know where to turn. So when you help, we're helping each other, because this is tough. This has been a tough year, and this is a tough thing. And sometimes these habits of our home, they're generational. They're not even your habits, or something happened. So please do not judge yourself. Just love yourself and start doing tiny, nourishing practices. And if you can, support the South King County Tool Library, because what a great organization to just really support us and help us not have things going in the landfill or overwhelming, but actually helping other people.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. I know
sorry,
Jeanette and Amanda, I mean, how long did it take you guys to get this tool library going? Like 6 years?
How old is your son?
He just turned 7. He was
7.
Right.
He was a couple months old when I started.
I wasn't even in the I just kept seeing little things, and they worked so hard to get this for you guys. So take advantage of it. Go visit Amanda and check out things and donate things and donate money to keep her programs. They've got other programs besides this one going. So, take good care of them, and they will take good care of you.
Well, and I wanted to, so I'm catching up on all the messages, trying to copy emails, but somebody asked about a tool library in Spokane, and I don't know of one yet, but I do want to say there are tool libraries. There's hundreds actually now around the world, which is amazing. And they've been around for such a long time, but there are actually 7 tool libraries in King County, mostly north of the airport, mostly in Seattle proper. And we love Seattle, but we are not in Seattle, and so we needed this resource down here. There is a West Seattle Tool Library, Southeast Seattle, Vashon has one, and Tacoma just got theirs a few years ago, while we were working on ours. They also got theirs and opened. But we decided to build a building because we wanted to be a lasting impact in the community. And we feel like bringing this to Federal Way will hopefully make a difference in a lot of people's lives, because I believe the possibilities are endless for what we can do. So, and as far as the, so there's more questions about the tool library and donations. So I'll put the website on in the chat as well, and you guys will all receive some follow-up emails with our contact information and more information too if there's any other questions. I love connecting and talking to people. This is what I'm passionate about. I haven't purged and clutter cleared to the point that I feel like I can actually, like you were saying, actualizing my full potential, but
right. But this is a journey. Honestly, this is a journey. You will never complete this. It is never going to be completed. You're never going to be perfect at it. It's a journey. And where you are now is going to be different than where you are in a year from now. It's a journey. It's the most nourishing, exciting journey of your life. Keep in mind, do something, take action, a tiny little action, clear pockets of focus, pockets of love. Focus, love, focus, love. Make sure you're very clear and nourishing to yourself in the process. A couple other little things. I did a thing for Marlene's Market last week, and it was on habits. So it's in their live feed right now. Pop into that if you want to know more about habits and stuff. That gave more detail about the habits. And then there was an article in Marlene's Market on Extraordinary, and from me in there, and it's also kind of on the habits, because it's shifting habits. That's all we're doing, and we're creating a life. We're changing it. We're changing ourselves. So on days that the power goes off and you have no electricity and you have live presentations and you so my day was finishing up this program in my car with the heater going on, because I'm like, we'll go to plan Z.
Definitely. And I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. And I'm just scrolling through and seeing people that have their cameras on, and it's so nice to see faces sometimes. And yes, plan B, plan X, plan Y, plan Z.
If we have to, we'll just keep circling the alphabet. A, B, B, C, C. It doesn't matter. We just keep going.
Right.
Jeanette and Amanda, I can't tell you how much I thank you and appreciate you. And I thank you guys all for coming. I just love seeing the nods and the faces in there, because I'm so excited for you guys to just like, this is so much fun. Everybody always goes, it's not going to be fun. I'm not going to like it. And I'm like, it's going to be fun. And they're like, it's not going to be fun. And we're done. They're like, well, that was kind of fun.
Denise, you are amazing. You are such an inspiration. I think I've heard you talk on clutter clearing 8 or 9 times, and I still get something new and I get reinvigorated every time. So thank you.
Me too. I just like it. There's so much to learn. I mean, this is like a whole language. It's the language of love.
And Amanda, your passion and dedication to your nonprofit for waste reduction is phenomenal, and partnering with us. So we're so grateful. And then I just want to do a couple shout outs for some upcoming things. The City of Federal Way has a Christmas tree drop off through Saturday at the Tool Library. So if you live in Federal Way and you don't have yard waste service and you have a natural tree to get rid of, get it down to the Tool Library by Saturday. They're open Thursday 10 to 4, Friday 10 to 4, and Saturday 10 to 2. So we also have a document shredding and electronics recycling event on Saturday, January 23rd from 10 to 2 at the Tool Library. It's a drive-through drop-off. The documents will be shredded on site. The electronics will be taken elsewhere. So if you're doing purging,
don't shred in your house unless you take it outside, because it's very bad for indoor air quality. So take it to the shredding thing. Don't try to shred a lot of documents in your house. If you're shredding inside, take it outside. It's really bad for air quality.
Yes. So if you are trying to figure out where to start in the next week or so, start with your electronics, your cords, your broken Christmas tree lights, your outdated electronics, and then your paperwork, because we will take those for free. And then our next class is Wednesday, February 10th. We're doing green cleaning. We have Denise back.
So on the green cleaning and cleaning is actually a practice too, and that is part of clutter clearing. So if you were in this class, come back, because I'm going to teach you how to do it as a practice and how to save yourself 50% of your work, and you can unclutter massive amount of chemicals. So come back, because they are the same. Those go hand in hand. You cannot have an uncluttered house if you are not doing good maintenance, daily maintenance and cleaning. And so we're going to make this so easy for you. So come back, they come together, and it'll kind of be reinforcing a lot of the same stuff we talked about today. So come back. I'll be
Alright.
Last year, we happened to talk last year about cleaning for viruses, because this thing was coming out about a virus called coronavirus or COVID. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Right. I remember I had a little picture of it. I'm like, and this is what it looks like. Wash your hands, ventilation. Who knew?
You say next week.
And now we're all viral experts, so it's amazing. But
oh my gosh, I can't believe that's been a year. Look how much we've done in a year, and we're still standing.
yeah.
All
well,
right.
I'm going to go ahead and stop recording and stop streaming and everything. But thank you guys again for the engagement and for coming tonight. And Denise, you're amazing. Just a huge ball of positivity and energy. I love that. I wish I could keep you in my pocket so that I could just have it all the time.
I would just turn into pocket clutter.
There you go. All right, I'm gonna pause the recording and stop streaming now. But I would just add that if anyone, if you didn't have a chance already, send me your email address, and I will make sure that you have the link so you can look at this later. And I don't remember what else I was gonna say. Oh, Jeanette already mentioned all of the events, so that's great.
Thank you guys all. 1% better, one tiny little thing, 1% consistency. Consistency in practice will turn your life into a new habit.
That is the goal. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say we're gonna end the. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this at all. Do I just stop?
I think we just hit leave.
Oh no,
okay.
I need to collect all the emails. I'll be in touch with everybody.
Leave it. I mean, you guys can leave if you
I got it. I already got it.
Okay.
I got it, Jeanette, and I'm saving and downloading the chat, so we're good.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Happy unmuddling.
Okay, let me see. How do I really don't know how to do certain things. That's just, okay.